Adding and subtracting negative numbers. When we add or subtract numbers, we need to follow a set of rules depending on whether the numbers are negative or positive. Here are 4 different scenarios. It may seem quite confusing with lots of signs, but don't worry, help is at hand. If there are 2 signs written right beside each other, you can change them into one sign. So the rules are very much like this. If you have like signs, so 2 pluses or 2 negatives, it's an add. If it is 2 unlike signs, plus and a negative, or negative and a plus, you subtract. So with the help of my table over here, I'm going to have a look at these calculations. So we have 2 pluses, so that becomes a plus. We have 2 negatives, that becomes a plus. We have a plus and a negative, so that will become a negative. And then we have a negative and a plus, that also becomes a negative. So now that I've replaced with just the one sign, I can do the calculation. So 3 plus 2 is 5, 3 plus 2 is 5, then we have 3 minus 2, and another 3 minus 2. You don't often see 3 plus positive 2 and 3 minus positive 2, because they normally just say 3 plus 2 and 3 minus 2. They don't normally put the positive sign in for a positive number, but sometimes you will see this. The thing that you need to be most aware of is you will often have 3 subtract a negative 2 and 3 plus a negative 2. In these instances, you must remember these rules over here. Here we have a few more examples to try. Now these are a little bit more tricky because we have a negative here at the beginning as well. However, the main thing is, if we have 2 signs that are written right beside each other, we have to change that to one sign. Now we follow our rules over here, so let's have a look. Okay, so here we have 2 positives, so they are like signs, so that's going to be an add. Then we have 2 like signs again, so that will be an add. Then we move down here and we have a positive and a negative, so unlike signs is subtract, so we change those 2 signs to subtract. And below it we have again 2 unlike signs, so that will also be a subtract. Now these signs here at the front, don't let that put you off. All we're doing at the moment is changing these 2 signs that are right beside each other. So now we have minus 4 plus 2, minus 5 plus 2, minus 2 minus 1, and minus 3 minus 2. Now we don't have any more signs that are written beside each other. However, because we have lots of negatives here, it might be easy to use a number line. So let's draw one. Okay, so the first one is minus 4 plus 2. So we start at minus 4, then we add 2. So that brings us to minus 2. Then we have minus 5 plus 2. So again, minus 5 we start at, then we add 2, which brings us to minus 3. And minus 2 minus 1, so start at minus 2, and then we minus another 1, so we go left, and that brings us to minus 3. And then the final one, we have minus 3 minus 2, so again we go minus 3 is where we start, and then we have to minus another 2, so we go left, 1, 2, and that brings us to minus 5. Okay, so let's have a look at a few more examples. So we have 2 signs written beside each other in these 4 equations. So we want to write these 2 signs as 1, these 2 as 1, as well as these ones as well. Okay, so let's look at our table up above. So let's do the first one. The minus and the minus become a plus sign. The plus and the minus become a negative sign, and the minus and the plus become a negative, and the plus and the plus become a plus. Now, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes they won't write -2 minus +4. They'll simply write -2 minus 4. And in that instance, it would be a minus anyway, as you can see here. And below, you'll see -1 plus a +3. And again, sometimes they'll just say -1 plus 3. And in that instance, also it would be a plus anyway. So I'm going to rewrite these equations with just the one sign, just to make it easy. Okay, let's do these then. So I have -1 plus 3. Let's just use the number line to help us. So I start at -1 and I'm going to add 3. So 1, 2, 3. So my answer is 2. Then we have 3 minus 2. Now that one's quite straightforward, so I don't need my number line, which is just 1. My next one, which is -2 minus 4. Let's have a look at my number line. So -2, and then I subtract 4. So I go backwards 4. 1, 2, 3, and the next place would have been -6. So that answer is -6. And for the last one, -1 plus 3, I'm going to use my number line again to help me. So I start at -1, and then I add 3, so I go forward. 1, 2, 3, which brings me to 2. So my answer is 2. Now it's your turn to answer some questions. Pause the video and try these. How did you do? Here are the answers. If you answered any incorrectly, have a look back through the video and then try again.